is. So it's still a mysterious case. The details of that disappearance from the meeting he was having with the people he was with to him disappearing from the meeting and then being found, tortured and dumped at a river. Still scanty.
Sugar cartels, unajua?
Yeah.
Kusikia mtu history ya sugar, it's a dangerous business.
Mm-hmm.
So, aliwaisema, like why, what happened to him?
Were there any other major surgeries?
Yeah, there was a surgery to resuscitate his, Yeah.
Iko Nini.
Episode
523 tukisema like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend, sindio?
Yeah.
Na leo tuko na msee anaitwa Brian Sakwa, na Brian Sakwa amekuwa kwa hii it was the media game for some time, yes? So yeah. Brian, umework places gani ndio maybe kuna msee anakuangalia na shino, msee ni familia.
Yeah. Sanga, who the hell is this nigga? The way people usually ask. So who the hell are you? Actually, you'll actually meet a lot of such questions in the media industry when you're being introduced, let's say, at another gig. And maybe there's an editor and a jaribu. Owners are done, hey, I was famous in this radio job I had. People knew what I was doing. But Shoko knew. You might get another gig in a different company and the panel asks, so who are you? We've never heard you. So, we never heard about you. Yeah, so I'd say my career began in university inaitwa Multimedia University. I'm an alumni of Multimedia.
Okay.
Hapo ndo naweza sema my gift ya utangazaji ilikuwa birthed pale. Nilikujanga nikapata chance ya kuwa, I think nilianza kama wanaitwaje our fill-in presenters kwa show ya Kiswahili. So nilikuwa gwiji sana katika lugha ya Kiswahili.
Okay.
Even though a lot of people usually tell me, oh, you sound more, kama mtu wa Kiingereza. But yeah, nilikuwa mtangazaji wa lugha ya Kiswahili on a mid-morning show.
Okay.
And then from there, nika move on to an evening drive radio show. Cause hiyo time Kiss FM na Classic zilikuwa zina boom sana. So wakati, cause I was doing a diploma and then nika advance nikaanza kufanya degree. So I felt like I was losing touch kidogo na mambo za broadcast, and then one of the lecturers akasema, wewe Sakwa, what happened to you? Nikamwambia, niliget lost. Unajua ukiwa uni kuna venye life inaendanga, I'd say too fast ama sometimes too slow.
Yes.
So nika get caught kwa waves za campo pale, nikakuwa fanboy. Actually personality yangu campus ilikuwa msee mwenye anapenda sana, msee mwenye ako outgoing, yeah? But originally that was not my personality. Hata nikitoka high school nilikuwa ule msee nimechill. Jo hata naonanga wase wa high school anaambia, I see you on TV, I used to listen to you on radio. I can't believe that this was the Sakwa we used to know, yeah. So I think I went through different phases kama to a teenager, a dude in their 20s, na nika evolved, and I think from there career yangu ikakuwa birth. My first mainstream gig, I'd say nilipatanga, was it in 2016 or 2017, kulikuwa na mtu alinispot. Nilikuanga na push Jimani sana, Jimani Homeboys by the Shuttles. Nilikuwa kwa IG yake 24/7. Nilikuanga, cause I used to die to be on Ignition, ile akina Combox na Kerry Martin. Hao ndio walikuwa the SI unit ya urban radio ya mtaa, Yeah. At least kwa wale wasenye walikuwa nasikiza radio hiyo time. Hiyo area, hizo miaka za 2014, 2015, 2016 hapo. So nilikuwa na mtext, hey, I'd love to be a presenter, I'd love to be a presenter. So I think after 3 years of texting him in the DM, akaniambia, kuja Homeboys, let me meet you.
Yeah.
Yes, and then from there, nikafanyanga my first radio voice test. That was, I think, in 2016, I believe 2016 or 2017. But it never surfaced, and nikaanza tu kuintern. So I think nikajikuta Ebru TV, nikajikuta Switch TV, nikajikuta Mwangaza TV, Radio Africa, and then kwenye niko sai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've been through places kiasi.
Specifically Radio Africa?
It was interesting, by the way, how I joined Radio Africa Group. Nilikuwa tu nimefutwa, I think nilikuwa kwa gig fulani hapo hivyo. Nilikuwa na flourish, si uongo. And then kulikuwa tu, I think, na some 1, 2, 3 misunderstandings zenye zilini hurt. Na I think hiyo period ndo nilikuwa tu bitter na hizi stories za media, cause nilipatanga ka message fulani hapo kanasema, oh, you've been suspended, you'll no longer be da. Na ilikuwa, I think, in the middle of the month. Sasa nikakuwa pissed off nini. Na unajua hiyo time, as a young person in media, you're not yet, I'd say, you've not yet established roots and network Kenya. Unaweza sema hii kitu ikifanyika kwa hii station ama nilose job, my next place ni maybe to call a dad, a father or a mother ama familia ama niko na project ingine outside what I've been doing. Sikuwa nimejiset up your time. So nilikuwa so angry, and then nakumbukanga nikipigia, there's one of my classmates, he's now an advocate of the High Court. He was my desk at Fountain Gate School, shout out. And I told David Ogara, nikampigia simu akaniambia, if they've fired you in the middle of the month without any like nini inatwaje, unajua ukiterminate mtoto unamwambia I think sijui saizi HR zinasema nini systems, unamwambia I think maybe a month before, but this one just happened instantly. So akaniambia, then you have to sue. Bruh,
it's not a month before. I think are those theories. There are those things that
a month before.
There are those theories that I think me and nikitoka Royal Media, it was the same day.
Oh, you were just terminated?
Yes, hivyo tu, after show.
Indefinitely, without any prior notice.
After show, yes. And even Nation, it was the same thing. And I think it's the most humane thing. Why do you want to fire someone and have them come for a whole month? I think it's very good. Of course, you're given a severance, like you're given 2 months hapo mbele ya kujipanga. But I always feel like when I hear lawyers argue there and they say things like, I don't want to come to work if I know it's over. Understand?
Yeah. But if you're a professional, why should you abscond your duty and yet you're being paid? So I believe even according to labor laws, if you've been, let's say you've been working here at IKONINI and then you had signed a contract, at least they have the responsibility of letting you know that, you know what, Sakwa, this and this is happening. Maybe you're restructuring, or maybe we have financial issues. We have to adjust our staff. So we are shelving down some 1 to 3 people. At least I believe that's respectful.
Yes, but as
to
long
just
as
honor the profession.
Yes, as long as they give you the severance, najua ile wakupatie, since tumekufire, let's pay you 2 months ahead. You don't have to show up. Because I feel it's more, utakuwa kikujapo kila siku. It looks very simple on paper, I think. But when you think about it, do you want to go to a place that has just fired you? A place that has just told you that you are not good enough? You pay me hizo 2 months za huko mbele nijipange. Instead of like maybe nikujage, nikuje, alafu sasa nikimaliza nikuwe sasa hakuna pay. So we gave you 2 months notice. Now since we gave you 2 months notice and you worked for 2 months, go land somewhere without any severance. Because I think maybe inakuwaga either or. I'll prefer severance any day over just being let go.
I don't know who else alikuwa one of these watu wa media za kitambo. Konasema alikuwa fired and then now he had to train the guy who's coming to replace him. That's torture, man.
That's trauma, man.
Today you know show the ropes.
So I understand when lawyers are having that talk, they tell you have this. But I also understand like just nilipe tu niende, mistaki kuja hapo kila siku, especially media, because shida ya media, it's one of the few jobs you have to do and pretend to be happy when you're not happy. So with radio, si lazima washeo microphone alafu iko sasa sinajangizo mujinga alafu lazima pretend to be happy. So you'd rather just get rid of me. I think, but nasema tu, that's my 2 cents. That's why I feel like if they pay, did they pay you severance? Ama alikwambia tu uende? Because if they did pay severance, then I understand why you are angry. But me, both places, Royal Media had taken a loan, so waliambia severance neza ipata place nitoka G. Alafu
it was a loan attached to the job.
Yes, it's the job that had iko inside ya kuget you a loan. So I didn't get shit hapo. Alafu Nation, I didn't have any nini, so alinilipa. Nation Media Group. So
I think there's an amount that was deposited, but I think it's a story that Stake could get into the nitty-gritties. But like I said, I was so pissed off. I was pissed off at God, because I'm like, there's a way pia nilikuwa nimeattach career yangu on God, so nilifeel kama God alikuwa anani let down. But anyways, those were just professional, what are they called? Professional what? Nitatongaje?
Bumps.
I came on later on to interpret it as that, because unajua saa zingine unaweza kuwa so attached to an employer, when you're released you feel like you've been in this amazing relationship with this lover of yours, and then she betrays you. So you're like, tell me the truth, but this is a profession, so they have no attachment, emotional attachment to you, and that's what usually happens.
Yeah, a company is a machine.
Yeah.
So you're just a cog in the machine. So you never get emotionally attached, especially now when you work for these very big ones. It's the ones that, like the Royal Medias and the Nation Media groups of this world, they're so huge that you're just like a tiny cog in that machine. And that cog can be replaced at any moment. But I think also professionally for everyone out there, kuna kuwaga na hiyo story, I never get emotionally attached to daga kwa hizo vitu unapataga tumeenda pali zile nitoka ni team building, mko pali na manager wenyu, the manager is there like tuseme Safaricom, how much na nani Peter Ndego is earning 28 million per month.
I think he's the most paid CEO pia. He's among the most paid
bank do lipoamua, which makes no sense because Safaricom makes the most profit. But unapataga sa hiyo maybe una Safaricom unalipwa 30,000 shillings a month. Alafu meka hapo, we are a family. We are not a family. We are not.
Mko kwa tago
Mko kwa tago na hapo na.
But you know, they usually say if you're working in any profession, be so competent that you are indispensable, in a way that wakianza kuangalia watu wenye unaweza let go, wakifika Sakwa, they'll be like, Sakwa, can we think about it before we let him go? Because I just don't know, but I think maybe pia ina depend na kampuni. Because kuna wale watu wenye hata ukiangalia wale watu wa CNN, I can only imagine mtu kama anitwaje, this guy was CNN, Jack Tapper, I think he's been at CNN for so long. Richard Quest, no, he's still at CNN. Richard Quest is still at CNN. Christian Amanpour is still at CNN. Anitwaje, this guy, Wolf Blitzer.
Yes, they're all, funny enough, they're all dispensable. You know the machines we're talking about? The CNN machine is huge.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing about America, kilemuangaliaga, hata mseka Jimmy Kimmel, like last week when he was fired, then came back.
Yeah,
mseka Jimmy was going to land on his feet because the best thing about the American audience is it has spending power. So even if Jimmy Kimmel was to go and start like his podcast, in just one whatever angekuwa ashafika a certain level.
A million actually.
But I think we kusema wako indispensable, I don't think so. I think hizo machines, like those stations are so huge and everything is attached to ratings. Like there's nothing as powerful as ratings in America. That's one achiki vile Jimmy Kimmel alianza alitoka, Trump alikuwa zile za he had bad ratings, he has no talent, he's not funny. He's not funny. I think because Trump alikuwa namtandika tu zile za nini.
So he's a leftist. Is he considered a leftist or a rightist? Jimmy Kimmel is considered to be on the left. So Democrats are leftist, Republicans are
okay, right.
It's all about the blue and the black.
Yes,
the blue and the red.
The red,
beg your pardon.
Yes.
Bofulanga dinners na nini? Ukua Royal Media with your bosses.
I think we had those two prayer breakfast where we'd be there, and Nani used to make jokes about God. That's when you realize, like, rich people. Kuna siku moja alikuwa like, who is that guy who died in Nazareth? Hini
remind me
SK Masharia. And like, that joke, I was like, of course hiyo time mimi nilikuwa nishaanza kumove away from religion, but I was still like, you because I expect you to fake it and pretend like so he was not there pretending.
So you go like, remind me that guy.
Yes.
Nice guy.
Remind me who is God.
Remind me who that guy who died in Nazareth. Walikuwa disgusted. Like, how dare he? This is blasphemy. This is what. So there was that. But yes, I love the because I'll call it naivety. I love the naivety that you have at if you do your job to a certain level, then you're, because I always look at Ghetto Radio and what I used to bring to the table on Ghetto Radio, and I was still dispensable. You understand? So you can't, hii story yako ya nini, I think utafanya msee fulani atakuwa emotionally attached to his job pahali akifikiria mdosi wako anakuangaliaga hivi, alafu in situations, so especially for us as men, you have to know if that girl comes and she has a very sexy bum and your boss is a pervert, he's going to sacrifice you na your talent yako juu hiyo mata.
Both the asses are on the line.
Hey, both your asses are on the line.
One on the line where
so I think
on the way.
But I say, Daniel, maybe I don't view it as naivety. For me, I view it as, wanting to actually just be the best and good at what you do,
yes.
so that, you know, other people who would love to walk in the same journey as you can, maybe if they can study your journey or they can study your legacy. Because like you've said, you've mentioned Jimmy Kimmel. I've studied a lot of American talk shows. Kama I think Juicy was doing a commentary about the Tamron Hall show, Amefanya, their season 7, and I was looking at just the montage, the audience, the color grading, the camera angles, the content, what you want to interview. Against na contrast the Sherry Shepherd show, Karamo Brown show. He's also a guy that I think I follow because akona talk show yake. Napenda watu wenye kona talk show za majina zake because that's eventually where I want to see myself at. So what come out, they're revered a lot in terms of other young rookies who look forward to be in such a space. Like mtutu akiangalia tu saa kona akianza ku read about me ama places I've been to, ataenda aulize, ataambiwe hey boys alikuwa excellent and exceptional at what he was doing. So for me that is the field I carry. I wouldn't take it as naivety like you said.
Brian, nikisema uko naive nikila nakwambia like you see that's that perfect world that you're painting. You're painting a perfect world where merit is everything, where what is everything. This is what I'll say. Do your job, do it to your best of your ability. But every time you enter that place, just know uko dispensable. What that does is number one, you start hauta worship your workplace. Because you've done that thing. I used to stay at Ghetto Radio. Was it 16 hours a day at Ghetto? When I was working at Royal Media, I used to give like 16 hours. I've always been the sort of person who used to give 16 hours.
Like you gave it your all.
Yes, but when it was time to fuck off, like I was told to fuck off.
They never cared,
you understand?
You know, if you've been here for...
and with that, nikabaki nimelan like something like, yes, it's an ini, but you're part of a machine, and the machine is so huge because in those places, you can try and imagine how many people work for Nation. I think it's over maybe 3,000. I don't know.
Thousands,
I'm just guessing.
Thousands, so to say.
Alafu kwa hapa kama kamtu kamoja. Alafu unajidanganya that
that I'm the best.
I'm the best.
I've been exceptional. Shock on you.
With such a market like Kenya, where there's always someone who's unemployed, there's someone somewhere who's better than you.
Yeah, but the way, I think that's also something about gifted and talented people. And it's something I also came to admit. There's always somebody who sounds better, who can do it, you know, bigger, greater and grander than you, who is exceptional and fluid. It's just about timing. But also now that you've mentioned it, I think in the Kenyan media industry at large, kumekuwa na such consistencies where some of the people you used to revere a lot on TV and radio, somebody alikuwa tu fired instantly ama something happened to their career. Maybe they've had like a 20 plus year career and they have nothing to show for it. And maybe on this other side, family ilikuwa inajua, hey, Ian, you had all these shows, you are interviewing the best people. I can only imagine a personality kama Yvonne Okwara. I call her avant-garde, I used avant-garde as the word to describe her in one of my commentaries. Imagine sasa something ikuje before Yvonne Okwara at some point in her life. And then to scale a story like a bankruptcy story where she's maybe unable to cater for some certain, you know, bills. So the questions and the reaction, and now with digital media, kila mtu atakuwa like, oh, damn, ndo alikuwa ana grill the most powerful leaders of this country. Imagine, you know. So I think also, maybe we need some sort of like
UP kama from wase kama maybe nyinyi wale mjingia kwa hizo machine ukiingia, one of the things that you realize is of course Yvonne, I'm assuming she's one of the highest paid, but there are people who work in these media stations where you find, kuna besti yangu moja nilichekaga sana, alishatoka Royal Media, but this guy alingiaga role when Citizen TV was becoming Citizen TV. And he used to read some sports ama weather, one of the two. And at that point alikuwa ananiambia nani was being paid, Mdoe alikuwa on 500 net and he was at around 30 net. Understand? And remember they all azikoza hakuwa na read nini, ilikuwa ni co-host, alikuwa ana co-host
co-presenter
co-presenter ile news and the co-presenter wake alikuwa analipwa 500. They were doing the exact same thing. Yana alipwa 30 and camera iko ina come on alafu go you see the way they exchange they trade and it's 530
Okay, that's emotional. Damn.
yes
I think that hurts pia a lot of journalists in this space.
That's
Yeah.
It happens.
And then pia unaweza kutapia level of experience unaweza kuwa maybe more like for you I can only imagine ukirudi back but yeah maybe in your wildest nightmare wote umerudi back in the mainstream media uanze kucompete na fresh newbies wenye wanaitanga rookies who've just come on the block. Unakuta kuna msee tu amekuja hata they've not made a name for themselves but they are on a bigger pay grade than you. It absolutely makes you feel some type of way. It is, and especially if you have more years of experience, even sometimes academically. But yeah, I think we've also stepped in an era where academic credentials are going to be extremely irrelevant and just none of the business. Like, show us what you can do and maybe what you've done before, and then we can build up on it. Yeah. But my prediction for legacy media, I feel like there's a looming or an impending media ecosystem flash out where some of these revered faces and names and voices that you used to and faces that you used to watch and listen to on radio, they're going to be flashed out because of the digital ecosystem, and it will be replaced as well with I'll say I call it, I think, new media. Others call it electronic media. And because of other, let's say, upcoming young talents that need maybe as well as a space or even a chance to showcase their skill and their talent, itakuwa hard to maintain the legacy media in a way that it will be revered as hard, as diehard as it used to. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Jeff Koinange is on his way out. God forbid, maybe he is or maybe he's not, yeah?
Is he?
Yeah, Maina Kageni as well. I'm pretty sure he's on his way out, yeah.
Maybe in a few years. I don't know.
Because Jeff read news, because the fact that he reads news, I think that's something he can do even when he's 70. As long as he keeps fit,
yeah,
he can still do it. I don't think, but I understand.
Moving maybe yes.
Yeah.
Even if it dies, maybe you might find him in this new media.
New media. I call it fresh media.
Yeah, fresh media
podcast. Yeah,
it,
he has an online show, I think, where he does all those stories. He has an online show. I think I follow it.
Yeah.
Mainak again, I think there was one of the kasheshes, because anyways, I used to work there, so I know some of the things behind the scenes. There's one of the kasheshes where he was calling out people that should exit corporate. Because you've been in corporate for 30 plus years, it's time for you to exit. Na kumbuka Mainak again akisema, akicall out his best friend, Jeff Koinange, akasema, Jeff Koinange, it's time for you to go out. And so many other names as well. Hata akasema yeye mwenyewe, he's ready to exit Classic. Apeane to Gen Z and Millennials wakuja wa take over. Nakumbuka that conversation. And I think it's incredible to see.
But I think the Gen Z and the Millennials have to fight for their space, because if people are still listening to Mainak again in Kingangi in the morning, it would be very stupid for hizo stations kuwatoa because of generational. Because I think even the people who listen to radio are more of the older generation than the newer generation,
than the Gen Z.
Like, if you are getting rid of old folks kwa radio to bring newer younger people, I'll be there like, that's such a stupid move, because I don't think these young people are listening to radio, because hao ni watu sasa wamezoea
Iko Nini.
Yes, na hata si Iko Nini, wamezoea wakitaka kusikiza all my enemies are suffering, they'll go to either a streaming app
or just YouTube anyways, Spotify, iTunes.
Kuna kabuda fulani kako ocha kanangojaga tu all my enemies are suffering.
Amengoja Jeff Koinange.
Yes.
Iko attached na nini na the presenter, his best ama presenter wake dem amwanansi hiyo ngoma, so I get it. So it depend how now technology ita direct,
but I think itakuwa unavoidable because itakuwa extremely difficult to operate with your environment, especially I'm seeing this happening towards end of 2025 and then 2026 itakuwa dystopia. Like utakuwa na tune in kwa station unashangaa, who is this? It's not the face I used to know anymore, because pia they're also cutting down on budgets, because ukiangalia pia a lot of advertisers are moving away from advertising on legacy media. They'd prefer to come onto the Brian Sakwa show, Hallelujah, or Iko Nini, or any other famous podcast where they can negotiate easily and they're assured of maybe instant feedback or clicks or just engagement
and also an ad that stays forever and that's one of the things of online media is your ad will be there forever.
Kama sahi if there's a marketer that I respect ni marketer wa print media mwenye lazima amke asubuhi na convince watu hii advert yako utaweka kwa center spread ya gazeti ama ile kale ni strip ad kwa front page ya gazeti that guy anakonga na very hard job.
Actually I'm trying to picture it. I'm like kuna announcements za gava zina happening in some of these newspapers.
Right now niko sure hata kuna marketers wa obituary page like please advertise watu weni hapo because kitambo it was prestigious.
Ninakwambia hiyo funny enough even when I was still at Nation watu walikuwa napanga line. I think people are so obsessed with it that wasopanga line hiyo obituary hata iuzagwi unaendaga pale Nation line ya obituary ni wapi unapata wasamepanga kwa I think kuna that as we said maybe the older generation alafu pia kuna watu wanafeeling that if they put you in the newspaper they've honored you, so that's the easy part. The hard part ni convince the Safaricoms and the Airtels to give you as much money as they used to back in the days.
Na hizi detergent.
Yes, because you remember your time, so inakuwa harder because kitu fani ni for most of these places like even when nikiwa Nation up to around 2015 the newspaper was the backbone. Yes, newspaper was making the most money for that station. Newspapers used to make so much money that people forget that even Royal Media in the early 2000s had a newspaper. I don't remember the name of the newspaper.
Was it Citizen?
Yeah, busy icon it was Citizen.
It's not the sile Citizen moja tunajua ama hiyo ni ya TZ.
Hiyo ni sijui ya wapi but Royal Media used to own a newspaper. That's how much newspapers used to make. Saizi newspapers the best thing like for most of us the only time tuna interact na newspaper ni vile Uhuru alisema tukirap nyama
ama ukipanguza
rasa
ushipanguza rasa na page ya obituary like no Mondi what have I done to you?
As you're saying it right now there's somebody doing it. Uko ushago
ushago zilikuwa zinakatwa zilikuwa zinakatwa sana ni hizo page kwa hizo zingine za advert.
You guys have lived.
One of my cousins alikuwa anazikata kama machine hicho as in inch perfect. So zilikuwa into boxes na zikiisha ukienda huko kama zibaki mbili ziishe ukatai kumwambia hiyo ni gori hicho. So I always nakumkanga tu
kuna umesahau moja unacheki kwa ushago kwetu.
Before.
Kuna kitu inaitwa isimba. So you have to cut out unakumbuka Pulse ilikuwa inakuja na lyrics za the trending R&B of the day. So una cut out hiyo picha hiyo R&B star. Ukienda kwa isimba za most guys
za Keja.
Unakuta kuna Beyonce, Alicia Keys.
Yani mnaita isimba.
Yes, tunaita isimba in my language.
Mnatukopi kwa sio ajaga ni simba.
Yes. But pia unajua kuna variations za lugha kadhaa. Kuna watachoni I'm sure kuna venye wanaiita because for me Mwanga tunaita isimba but utakuta Wabukusu pia wako na another version of it. I think it could be still isimba but maybe the intonation of it could be a little bit different.
Unakuanga Mwanga.
Yeah, sasa mimi ni Mwanga kutokako kule kwetu Mumias Kakamega.
Okay.
Kitu nitanda kusema ni
Luya hit
#onyaka paper it was funny. Unajua sasa umesquat unajua sasa lazima ji-entertain paka unasoma background za hawa say wali sijui in the USA
Beyonce
nani alafu na
mnafahamu lipe kina kuna bishtago alikuwa ananiambia mnafahamu watu wa vinyozi mnafahamu lipe Ludacris. Is it Ludacris or Ludacris depending on whether you know Ludacris na hiyo hairstyle yake yako kwa kila kinyozi. Na apparently I heard he said hana beef na mtu yote ame make money out of those markshots zake.
Hata uko na beef dadu.
Uko majuu if somebody uses your photo you pay a lot of money.
Wajuzuri wa Kenya ni mostly kona za kuchora. So nitaanza kuchora. Kuna moja ile joke ya RAPCHA sijaisahau ati kuna Huruma kulikuwa na bababa shop that had a picture of Tupac like yeko na kamtula kilon. So the fact it's someone drawing you.
Yeah.
So wacha tu kujisa kwa story yako, yes.
Okay.
So budako anaitwa ni Michael Kulundu, yes. And Michael Kulundu is are we going to say a former MD wa Nzoia Sugar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So wacha tuanze na hiyo. Uli grow up wapi? Because there's this story yako ile si understanding where you met your mother late in life. So you grew up with your dad?
Yeah, I'd say yes. I'd say I partially grew up with my dad, but for the better part nilikuanga in the hands of both my maternal and my paternal grandparents. What happened originally was I didn't know where I was born. Sikuwa najua nilizaliwa wapi, by the way. So when I met my biological mom, ndo akaanza kunielezea, kumbe nilikuzaa ukiwa huku Nairobi, Pumwani Hospital, but then nitajaribu find out more details about, you know, my birth details. Because even the name, she was telling me the names I have are not, two of them are right, my first name and the family name, of course, my dad's name, Kulundu. But my middle name, so she was telling me that your middle name was Victor, and she was even explaining to me the story. Unajua tu venye mom's wanakuanga emotional and why, you know, she had to name me Victor. And whatever happened, and I ended up, you know, with a different name, which I love. Actually, I'd love to be referred to as Sakwa than Brian. Yeah. So for me, if you are in Tao and you called Sakwa, I'd definitely come to your head. You scream Sakwa in the crowd. Mi ndo takuwa nikikamba. Ukisema Brian, but still my name. Nakumbuka Mike Mondo akiniambia, on your name. Yeah. But yeah. So I met my mom in 2019, to cut the long story short.
Ulikuwa how old?
Right now I'm 29. Let's do the math.
So 2019. Okay, 6 years. 6 years back, so 23. So each time yote before 23 you never met your mom?
No, not at all.
So that's why I wanted to find out, how did you grow up? Will you grow up wapi? Like
like I've said, I grew up in both my maternal and my paternal grandparents' homes.
So your mother never used to go to your maternal grandma's place? That's what I'm trying to understand.
It's also a question that I was asking. So I think they had some bit of dispute because there's some things unajaribu kuuliza but zingine unazireserve because of the emotion and the situation and how it is. And I pray I explain it in a way that is appear like I'm shading somebody or I'm blasting somebody because they'll be watching this conversation. What happened was there's a bit of, I think, of disagreement, and that was my mom's story to tell. And she ended up not getting, being married to my dad. And
that's the paternal side. Try to imagine the maternal side. Where?
So the maternal side, what happened
why doesn't she go back to her maternal, her mother's and father's place?
Yeah. That's a question maybe she can answer. I don't have the answer to.
Okay.
Yeah. So she ended up handing me over to my maternal grandparents, who took care of me, I think, from age 5 to 6 up, and then nikakuwa handed back to my paternal. Yeah.
Yes. So ukiwa side ya paternal, how's your dad? Like, and what was your relationship with him? Like, you're this 6-year-old, you've just showed up.
6, 7, 8 there. Yeah. The vivid memories are being introduced to a new family, because I think it was like some sort of intervention because nilikuwa already na malnutritional diseases. On my maternal side kulikuwa na uncle mwenye alikuwa na hate the fact that, my mom could just give birth to a child in Nairobi and then anakuja and I'm shoved into her hands. And then because I think there was a bit of bitterness and that, lack of being accepted with the child. So maybe she was just furious and angry, and so mtoto akakuwa kama ni burden.
Okay.
Get
understand your side.
So, and plus she was young as well, so the only right thing to do was to shove the child into her parents. And this uncle, I think alikuwa na chukia hiyo venye nilikuwa, I think maybe I took his place in kwa shosho, so he made it his business to torture me, man. He used to starve me and beat me at that age.
How old are you?
I think it was 5 heading to 6 there. Ndo nikagetizi makwasha kwa marasmus. Ndo sasa shosh akaona akiendelea kukaa na huyu mtu huyu atakufa. And then saidi ya babake akujua sema mbona mtoto alikuja akafanyika hivi na hivi na mkumleta. So it was an intervention to actually get me
to this
from
other side.
yes, so that life yangu iko fit na probably. And I love her. She's Mama Bear. She'll forever go down in the history of the most phenomenal women in my life because she took care of me when my mom was not able because of the situation. And so is my paternal grandma. She's also Mama Bear. I love her and she loves me. So they took over from there. And they put me on a diet na nika bounce back. So I used to hear stories wakisema huyu ndo Brian alikuwa amezaliwa Nairobi nini. I didn't even know where I was born. Yeah. Ndo nilianza kusikia hizo story in my early adult life.
Vile unasema hivyo inaniremind kitu moja. Unajua that's poverty right there. So utapata like your uncle who I'm assuming is your mom's brother,
Yes.
Utapata tu mko unafight juu ya chakula. Jo ila ya kuzoja place ka
Absolutely it was food, imagine.
Yes. Ocha chakula waga imeputiwa.
It was food. Yeah.
Wase wanaga kuna msalimiza why you obsessed with Ruto? Number one, I'm obsessed with Ruto because he's our president and I feel like whatever he does is bullshit. We live in a country where people have to rate food so highly. People kill each other over food. Najua hivyo?
Yeah, and that's poverty.
Ni stories zetu tumebonga hapa sijui buda fulani mpigana na watu wake juu ya size ya ugali.
Yeah.
So for you to be leading such a country
and
so unachiki maybe according to mimi your uncle used to be like kana kula ugali
Leona too, this is an extra mouth to feed.
This is an extra mouth to feed. So lakini pia another thing ulikuwa describe Buddha as a people's person, everybody's father. Why?
Because when I think of my dad, when I remember my dad, I remember him as a person who lived a selfless life, a life of others more than himself, in a way that nakumbukanga the final phone calls za my dad zilikuanga, hey Mr. Kulundu, I have this and this and this and this, can I, and my dad would help. Like he would spend most of his time attending to other people's issues and trying to assist them. And my dad was also a church person. I'd say he was religious, and I think also that's what I picked from him, just being godly and identifying with the God of your understanding. So he's a person who literally once again lived a selfless life, a life of service to other people, but he also put his family first. And that's why I'd say most of us went to good schools, academy schools, close to international schools here. And that's something that you don't, commonly get around, I say such a large family. But family of my dad, I think there are nine or 10. Only two brothers and the rest.
Okay. So, okay. Wacha basi ni rewind kidogo.
Yeah.
At some point you moved to your paternal grandfather's place, yes?
Yeah.
But your paternal grandfather and your father, of course, they don't live in the same house. So at any point did you move now from grandfather ukenda kuishi na budako?
Yes, I think that happened Nikki joined boarding school sasa. Yeah. I'd say in 4th grade, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. I think there was a conversation to actually get me to a better school than school yenye nilikuwa naenda.
So 4th grade unasema standard 4?
Yes, 4th grade standard 4.
So your standard 4, where was this school?
I think in the village still in Mumias here.
Yes.
Yeah, so nilikuwa, I was just a village kid. Yeah.
But Buddha yote
anatembea bila t-shirt anachunga ng'ombe.
Yuko Mumias hiyo time Buddha?
No, I think still my dad was, in fact I think alikuwa advanced career yake kiasi. He was still at the same
Nzoia bado?
Yes, he was working still. I think my dad probably spent over 20 plus years building his career at that company. Yeah.
Okay. So
that company.
So of course now eventually he's at Nzoia Sugar. So what was his position before he became the acting MD? Who was he?
I think maybe he went through chairman. Yeah. I don't exactly remember, but of course the prestige of having because professionally he was an engineer, mechanical engineer. Yeah. And probably he moved to a chairman. He was a manager at some point. Yeah. So he held, I think, managerial positions for quite a bit of time, and then ended up now becoming an MD.
Alafu end up as acting MD kwa nini? What had happened to the MD that was there?
What I say is some of the news headlines zenye zilikuwa zina come from that side were I think issues with the payments to especially farmers, and then the leadership structure. I think in a debt back to integrity. Another mtu mwingine anapewa pesa zinaembezzle. Remember during time ya Uhuru, the sugar industry still ilikuwa ina face hizi challenges za pesa zinarelisiwa ziende farmers but then zinapotelea tu hapa katikati. And the issue tu ni leadership hapa katikati. So I think the leaders that were in charge that time hawakuwa leaders wenye walikuwa na integrity. And it happened that when my dad stepped into the scene, he was a person who was believed to, you know, and I believed he was the right person until now wakaanza kuona, because this person is full of integrity. He wants everything done in the right manner. He's fighting for the rights of farmers. Then he becomes a stumbling block to us, the controllers who are behind the scenes. And of course, anything that has to do with government, ikona gatekeepers. That's what I learned even from this whole thing. So they'll be like, oh, it's Muff. He's honest. Meaning, ukiwa honest, kuna pesa zitakuwa zinafikia mahali.
Yes.
So we'll have to do something to yank you out. So I think there was even a corruption scandal. He can investigate you, akakuwa vindicated. It was actually manufactured and doctored to taint.
So alikuwa acting MD from what time to what time? Because najua January 2019, that's when the big event happened. But he'd been an acting MD for how long before this happened?
I think could have been 2.5 years.
Yeah,
if I'm not wrong. Could have been 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in January 2019, he was abducted, yes? Do you know the specific date when the abduction happened?
Yes, he was abducted on 3rd of January.
Damn, when the year had just started, yes?
Yes. Nakumbuka hiyo time nilikuwa, I think that was the time nilikuwa nimejimass into radio a lot. Yeah, so the conversations before that zilikuwa ni, dad was just fine, you know, life yake ilikuwa fiti, our dad is an acting managing director, life is going on well, but kumbe there were so many other issues zilikuwa zinafesta, zenye zilikuwa zinamuaffect na zenye probably hakuwa anasema na hangesema to the family. And I love hiyo personality yake, alikuwa mtu mwenye ha-complain, so hautajua hata kama na go through something. He
was reserved.
Yes, extremely conservative and just, you know, laid back, but getting it right and making the right decisions and moves. So it hit as a surprise as well. It was a roller coaster, I'd say, to learn that kulikuwa na issues alikuwa na deal nazo, zilikuwa zime-crop up beneath your company, and he was facing it on his own.
So mlijuaje? Like he's been abducted ama mulidiscover too after he was found? Like what happened?
So this is what happened. Initially for me, I was not based in Bungoma. I was right here in Nairobi. And like I've said, every time I had immersed myself into the world of radio. I wanted to be a radio star. So I was doing everything I could to get onto the next big radio platform to make my dad proud. Because the conversations initially before my dad were like, what are you doing? What are you doing on YouTube? What station are you working at in Turning? So I was doing everything I can. Adi, the conversations about my dad's wars and his workplace never cropped up, and he never mentioned it. So one night, I remember it was on a Wednesday night, and nilikuwa nikiprepare for the following day. Now at around 5:30 is there. Nikacheck my phone, nikakuta nikona like 5 missed calls. Clicking on the phone calls, it's several from my aunties and, you know, an uncle. So I returned the phone call, and I'm told, you know what, Brian, your dad went to work and he's not returned home. And that was the conversation. Your dad went to work and he's not come back home. So I mean, assume, my dad, you know, utaki imagine the worst, because your dad is an MD, you know, unajua hiyo ndo unajua period. And it's a good thing actually for a family. So utaki kujua hizi integrity. So you just believe, dad alienda meeting na wadosi, because it happens when you become an MD, you're likely to go to him. But then the awkward part about this meeting was meeting yenye, because initially alipigiwa simu akiwa home kwa nyumba. And then akaenda meeting ilikuwa usiku. To meet, you know, I don't want to mention the hotel, but if you read the updates like you have it, you'll see. And from there, what happened is his phone line is off. Nobody can trace him. The driver he was with is MIA. The driver is also trying to find out where he is. So it's still a mysterious case. The details of that disappearance, from the meeting he was having with the people he was with, to him disappearing from the meeting and then being found, you know, tortured and dumped at a river. Still scanty and mysterious. Yeah.
Yeah, because me gonna chikeni Ali was found dumped in a trench with severe injuries. Which injuries are we talking about?
Oh, I wish there's a way to describe it, but yeah, I'll just like the one says there were severe injuries, very severe injuries that, you know, if you're close to him, I don't think you'd have words to put it, but yeah, zilikuwa injuries za annihilate, like finish you.
Amepigwa na nini according to panga, ngumi, rungu?
Yeah, I believe ni hizo. Yeah, I believe ni hizo. Yeah.
Okay, so mshampata, the next place mlimpeleka ni Hosi.
Yeah, so for me, I'm still in Nairobi. Maybe to the schedule that day in the morning. Because I was a news reader on the morning show that I was co-hosting on. So I managed to power through, but details za abduction hazikuwa zimekuja bado. At the time now, I'm leaving the house at around 5:58 to go to the radio station. So nika believe maybe dad was in a meeting and he'll be back. So nika power through my day. At around I think 8:30 a.m. the under producer wangu akaniita kaniambia, hey Brian, kuna hii headline ina develop and this name sounds close to you. Ebu tuangalie. Only to check it was my dad.
Yes.
And I think hapo ndo sasa nilianza sasa ku process everything. But yeah, I remember doing my broadcast till the very end. Till the very end, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So from there, news ikaanza spread like wildfire, NTV, other blogs, newspapers, you know, coverage ikaanza sasa. Everything ikaanza pick up. Sasa ndo ikaanza kuwa, you know, it's being shown in the mainstream media. People are now asking me, oh, kumbe, this was your dad. Lecturers are calling, my friends. At this point now, we are not even talking to each other as family. We are holding our hearts in our hands, you know. We are praying for the best, but also just expecting the worst, because all we are seeing is he's being yanked from another Hosi to another one. And I remember that same day, I think it was the following day, Sasa, because all the details about where he had been taken for treatment zilikuwa hidden to avoid media.
Yes.
And also to just give family privacy. Plus, this is a traumatizing event, or I'll say happening that, you know, it's triggering. At this point, aunties are crying and pleading with God. Grandmother is almost, you know, as imagine, you know, the way she was mentally and emotionally that time. For us, we are lost for words. We can't even believe it's happening to us. Yeah. So I remember nikienda Aga Khan Kisumu traveling. I traveled overnight. Yeah. It was difficult. Ilikuwa ngumu. I just don't know how I made it through hiyo safari. And plus, I'm continuing to see these headlines, phone calls and texts, and people, unajua kausha aujazoele kuishi kwa environment ya people are feeling so sorry for you, and people are telling you, oh, this was your dad, oh, this is your dad. You kind of, you know, hold back and just become numb. Yeah. So nilikuwa a sponge, I'd say. So nakumbuka nikifika at around 3 a.m. At Aga Khan, there was no one at the reception. I think there was someone, but alikuwa asleep kidogo. Kamwambia, hey, this is my dad, I want to see him. Kamwambia, oh, you can't see your dad right now. In fact, nobody is allowed to visit this hospital at this time. Yeah, kaniambia, because it's your dad, sleep over there. Nakumbuka nikilala hapo kwa bench. Nakumbuka hiyo bench ilikuwa na nini za green. Hizi nini, zinaitwaje? Hizi ni za kukalia, za green, yeah. So I had a hoodie, nikalala hapo. 4:55 nikaamka ndo nikaanza kusikia movement, nikaona nurses wamekuja. I think they were changing maybe patients, moving them from, and cleaning as well. Ndo nikaambia sasa maybe at 5:58 ndo you'll be allowed to go and see your dad. Yeah, and I remember just standing there nikingoja tu 5:58 ndo nikakuwa taken. Kufika kwa hiyo room nikapata there was my uncle there and my dad was on the seat. So what happened is, wakati tu nilifika tu hivi hapo hivyo, dad akashtuka, yeah. And the first thing was, Brian, umekuja. You know, that was, I remember those were the words, and I can still hear them in my head. Brian, umekuja saa ngapi here? Those were the words. And I think maybe before that, hakuwa ameongea tangu hiyo incident yote happened. Yeah.
Was he in a normal ward?
I think at that time he was in a normal ward, and then akakuwa transferred immediately. Because he didn't spend another hour in that. What happened is we moved to a private ward. Yeah. Yes.
So easy, like which injuries did you find him with? Because he could still talk, eh?
Yes, he was still able. He was cognitive. His mind was right, but I say because his right hand kuna venye they just kama somebody took a machete or a panga and
Chopped.
chopped off. Yeah. I think that was the most excruciating because I remember wakati alikuwa transferred to Nairobi Hospital. During one of the visits kulikuanga na hiyo physiotherapy. Of course sasa kama nini zimekatwa kuzirudisha ni it's like your body is rejecting a foreign organ, so it's extremely excruciatingly painful kuzirudisha na zianze kuwa na blood flow. Yeah, so I think that was too painful, plus many other injuries. Yeah, yeah. And I look at the dressing was just another story.
So this was in January, and then he passes in.
So he lives. Yeah, he survives for 2 months. Then he.
So 2 months nasemekana like was there progress? Because I can see there's a place where you're saying we mwenyewe uko na bidum feed. So na feed because mikono haiwezi work ama.
I was not the only one actually feeding him. All of our family was there. My sisters and my dad's sisters, my aunties, and other family members. Yeah, I don't want to mention, but yeah, kulikuanga na zile visits the ward unacheki patient akiwa admitted hosi. Kuna kuanga na visits, and I don't know how Nairobi Hospital works because for us we wanted to stay there with him until the following day, but inakuanga ni ikishafika usiku visiting hours kisha you have to go back at home. Yeah, so ilikuwa at least ukapata chance na yeye ukikaa hapo na yeye unamkulisha chakula. Yeah, I think it's something that you wouldn't wish not even on your worst enemy, because this was your dad who was well, the dad who could make moves for you, a dad who was everything to you, and now I'm reduced to a person who can't even walk. Yeah, the memories are still vivid, I'd say, and just fresh. Yeah.
Alafu pia I think another thing pia nilicheki ni there's a conversation we had with him kwa hosi, and it's like he was preparing you for death yake. Like, so what was this conversation, and why do you feel like he was preparing you for death?
Oh, how did you know that? Where is it?
Jali jo. Sisi ni podcast jo.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. I remember thinking ilikuwa on one of the visits. That was deep because nakumbuka one of my sister alikuwa shamuona for the day, during half of the day. Akarudi home ku rest, so that because she was also schooling, and then me too, I was schooling and still doing radio, remember? And interning somewhere. So nakumbuka nikienda hosiku na venye unaletanga food, and then mtu mwenye ako hapo ku take care of you anakusaidia kukula. Yeah. So I was trying to feed him, and I just remember him saying, you know what, Brian, kula hii chakula at least huwa uko na maisha kuishi. And then he turned, he rolled over on the other side of the bed and he fell asleep. So the next thing is I panicked. Yeah. I felt the words were so heavy in my ears. Yeah. And being confused, you're overthinking, you don't know what to do. But the only thing I could do nakumbuka is I dialed one of my auntie's phone to exactly explain, because they'll come and please tell us the progress, because wow, walikuwa Western.
Yes.
At least me, I was close, yeah. So nikamwambia no, just it doesn't mean anything, yeah. But to me it felt like, something was impending. And I think from there, that's when my faith in God that he had instilled within me just, dropped. Yeah. Sijui ka usha trust for something, uka work for it, and you're certain it's gonna work. But then the more you put in more effort, the more it deteriorates, and it looks like it's fading away. Yeah. And just wading into oblivion. That's how it felt that moment. But we powered through. And I remember asking the nurse, can we stay until, the following day? But interestingly, he did not even pass on that time. I think that was during the second month of it was during the fast. It was the end of the first month at Nairobi Hospital.
Because history nini hata nimejiconfuse kidogo. So of course what I wanted to ask is, did he ever say who he thought had abducted him and why they'd abducted him? Because of course from the outside looking in, we thought it's the sugar cartels, unajua?
Yeah.
Because come to history ya sugar, it's a dangerous business.
Mm-hmm.
So aliwaisema like why, what happened to him?
Yeah, I think when he gained his memory from after during the first let's say ile period ya kwanza yenye alikuwa anajaribu resuscitate, anasema he just remembers people ambushing him and one of them had a gun, but he can't put the names to the faces. Yeah. Yes, so he never mentioned exactly, but of course kuna kuanga na ile gut instinct like you're trying to put the pieces together, ujue adui yangu ndo alinifanyia which was never sugar, mentioned to me. Yeah, but I believe ni sugar cartels. Yeah. The sugar cartels were behind that heinous act and the people who did not want him out of office. But like I said, details about that part are still scanty, because still today, they said tunaenda kuinvestigate the normal way they usually say after someone maona watu vile watu wamekuwa abducted and tortured. I remember kumekuwa na incident ya sijui alikuwa one of the bosses wa one of these insurance companies mwenye alitravel akaenda Kisumu and then gari yake sijui. I actually saw when I see such incidents on TV being covered, I usually see myself in the family.
Kisumu.
I always see myself in such stories.
It was shot in Kisumu.
Yes, it was last year.
It was last year?
Yeah. Last year and in the beginning of no, it was last year, because I remember doing commentary on it on TikTok. It was last year, towards end of the year.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes. Tuliona akitoka kwa gari lakini hakurudi tena.
Yes, exactly. And gari yake ikapatikana imepakiwa at a different location and his body dumped somewhere else. Yeah, I remember seeing myself and family in that. And it's funny because such cases zimekuwa too mingi. And now with the protests and people being abducted, once it's abduction, unajuanga tu, hey, this is how the family is feeling. This is what the elder brother, the auntie, the mom, the wife here. So I'd say it's some sort of trauma.
Okay.
But
and apart
I'm
from
powering through. Yeah.
I'm trying to understand all this time in hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from the hand, were there any other major surgeries?
Yeah, there was a surgery to resuscitate his Yeah. Yeah, there are other surgeries.
Okay. So the passing, can you remember that day? Ulikuwa wapi?
Yes.
What happened? So this is like 2 months after.
Yeah. It was on a Wednesday night, transition towards Thursday. Nakumbuka that time I was still doing radio, and I was a tutor at a certain college hapo Thika Road. Nilikuwa mwalimu wa college, nilikuwa nafunza media something. Do I even remember? Yeah. This was in 2019. It looks like it's 10 years ago. Yeah, so nilikuwa nimetransition, nilikuwa nimefanya hiyo siku nilikuwa busy. Nilikuwa nimeattend class, nimefanya radio, and then nikaenda kufunza. So I was transitioning back to where I stay. But I had to pass through at dad's place, because your time alikuwa sha discharge you from hosi. Alikuwa tu receive ile physiotherapy, like unaenda hosi, unarudi, and sometimes there'd be home visits by the specialist, the physiotherapy. So nakumbuka nikimpigia simu during the day, akaniambia, hey Brian, I think there was a conversation about how my day was going. And as much as dad was in that condition, he was still following up on how you're doing and how the gig is going. It was interesting because alikuwa amepromise, he had showed signs that he's recovering, not dying. So there was so much hope. And in fact, that was now what I was holding on to with my faith in God. That was my fortress. So nakumbuka nikimwambia nakuja kuona, but kuna traffic kiasi. Na that was the conversation where akaniambia ametoka kumeza dawa na ametoka physiotherapy. And that was it. And nikamwambia nakuja kuona, akaniambia nipigie simu ukifika. That was in Emba, Gate D, Nyayo. So kulikuwa na traffic kidogo, transition kutoka Thika Road around 3 to 4 there. I made it to town. Nika jump into a Jav. Ndo hiyo mimi naenda Emba. Nikafika kwa nyumba, he was fine. I think he was sitting right over there with the newspaper. I can vividly remember the visions of that day. I'll call people and be, hey, Brian, nimekuja. How's your day? The conversation still again, how's your day? My day was fine. And then akaendelea kusoma gazeti. So one interesting thing happened. Akaniambia nibaishie maji, nataka kumeza some of the meds. Yeah. So everything in the house and whoever were there was just fine. Mood, temperature was fine. Yeah, kila kitu ilikuwa tu ina flow nice. So nikaenda kumbaisha maji at the nearest I think water vending machine hapo tu within Nyayo. And karudi na kameza dawa. And that day the conversation was so, I'd say, was so seasoned in a way that alikuwa na uliza swali kuhusu what I do in media. Unacheki zile integrities that like what usually happens when you do radio, how do you broadcast, do you have scripts, you know, what is the feedback, how do you know that watu wamesikiza on the other side. So ilikuwa such a I'd say a comprehensive and engaging conversation. I was feeling nice. I had even forgotten that this is our dad when you were abducted now. You know, he's, you know, ailing from this, you know, wounds inflicted on him. And we progressed with the day until I think ikafika kitu 9:30 hapo. Akakula sapa yake, yes, sapa yake vizuri. So the conversation was, am I going back to where I stay or I'm staying for the night? Yes. And I think this is the part that was never said even when we were in the funeral, and plus so many other things that, you know, transpired. Yeah, I remember telling him I can't stay in the house because the following day still I had the same routine. And this Embakasi and where I was staying, the only traffic, because Langata Road traffic and then connecting Addis and Yongata, ilikuwa inanichukua more than 2 hours plus. And the following day I still had a radio station, bado nilikuwa na iyo job ya kwenda, yeah, and a class too. I think ilikuwa a bit of a cut, yeah. So I was like, I can't stay in the house for the night. I'll have to go and then I'll come back the following day. But nakumbuka sasa after tumekula supper at around 10:30 there, because nakumbuka hiyo day it was on a Wednesday, tuliwatch JKL vizuri here. Yeah, and nikamwambia it's now my time to leave the house. But deep down I had doubt, like sijui kama ushai dread that something is about to happen, but haujui tu. Yeah, and it's also a fear that I had, because I remember your times ndio sasa nilikuwa I was deep in faith and asking God just heal my dad. I remember reading Bible verses, unaona zile inspiration of Bible verses, I love you, God loves me, God sees me, God knows my situation, nini zilikuwa part of me, part and parcel of my day, like Bible ilikuanga hapa part of my pillow. So I knew God was healing my dad, and that interaction ilikuwa testimony that he's getting better. So I remember leaving the house, nakumbuka the last word was, do you have fare to take you? Kwanza nakumbuka kisema, it's a little bit late, why can't you just stay for the night? Nikamwambia, no, I'll just hop into a boat because the schedule tomorrow is really weird. Akaniambia ukifika tu hivi. In fact, she insisted, ukifika my son, give me a call. Yeah. And that was it. So kumbe 25 minutes on my way to my destination, she collapsed. Collapsed and died. And I remember the phone call I received, because wakati nilifika to my destination, I called to tell him that I've arrived safely to my destination. Good night, and tell me if there's anything that I need to know for the following day. Yeah. So kupiga simu yake haingi. That was at around 11:50. 11:58 haingi. So nikasema, let me do this. Let me just say, yes, ilikuwa mteja. Mteja. So nikasema, let me say a prayer for my dad and then hop into bed. So by kitu around 12 or 2 a.m. there, kama tu sasa nataka kuingia kwa duve, simu yangu ikalia. My half brother, Brian, after you left, dad collapsed. And he's normal. And aka hang up. So I'm refusing that call. I'm like, unasema dad collapse ama amefaint na mko naye haongei ama dad amekufa. Yeah, and that was it. So again call back. I call, simu yake kenda off. Around 10 minutes there again I call back. So ndo nasikia tu the other person is crying, people in the room are crying. Yeah, now the word has already spread to, you know, Shago. It's all screams and wailing. And I think that's the time I hated myself, and I felt like kwa hii faith yote nilikuwa nimepractice, like, God, why did you let that happen? But I later on learned that, you know, I was not I was not the one in charge. And also sometimes when things are meant to happen, they play themselves in a way that it looks like it's okay, but eventually it will just fall apart. So all you have to do is just surrender and do your part, and whatever happens, let it happen. That's how, I'd say that's what I learned from that. But also putting my faith and trusting in God ilinisaidia kidogo, because, there's that assurance as a person of the Christian faith. Yeah. I know you don't ascribe to Christian beliefs anyways, but
I don't ascribe to any religious beliefs, not just Christianity. I make jokes about Christianity because it's more funny than other religions.
Or maybe it has never worked for you. Yeah. So I'd say that short duration I had for that practice of the Christian faith, zilini take through until the last day we laid him to rest, because I was hopeless. I was in mental chaos. I was all over the place, and now I'm hating myself and now doubting the God that I've been praying to heal my dad. And plus all these things we've been through, wakati he's been ailing, and now the broadcasts and now the people. I think nilienda into numb maudile, like staki kusikia hizo story. I think nili lose appetite for those. Food tasted really sour. I hated food for your duration yote. I hate myself, I hate food, but I'm still doing all these things. I'm still tutoring, nafunza kule, and I was still doing radio. Yeah. Yeah, but again, sasa ikafika to a place I had to just take a pause kidogo, because the person I was becoming was not even conducive for other people out there. And plus there was a certain shame and fear of I'm turning up and people are asking me about my dad. It weighed me down, emotionally and mentally. But you couldn't tell it because I was numb. Ilikuwa numb, yeah.
Okay.
So I was showing up but not myself. So the best thing was to delete myself, pause, and then I resurfaced way back. But it was difficult to bounce back. Very difficult, yeah.
So after your dad passed, kulikuwa na autopsy? And what did the autopsy say?
Yes, I remember tukienda leave and roll home. Was it the following day? Could have been the following day or the day after, because he was first wakati alidedi alipelekwa Umash. Yes, and then there was a transition to leave and roll home because he was, a state officer, I'd say. Yeah. So nakumbuka tukienda ku attend the autopsy, but I say maybe mimi sijaambiwa details za your autopsy. So siwezi explain exactly what the autopsy said, but I remember being among the people that were attending, even though sikuwa ndani ku witness it, because they said it was extremely intense.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was not inside the room, but I remember viewing the body.
Because mi nauliza juu ya results. So results amjui what killed him, what was written on the autopsy, this is kuwa nasema alikuwa sawa alafu akadedi, so amjui nini.
Yeah, personally for me I'm not privy to the details. Kuambiwa. Yeah.
Alafu nini, so kama ni leave funeral, I'm assuming alafu he's from Western province. I'm assuming a lot of Western politicians showed up even for both funeral preparations and the burial, ama? How was that?
Yes, absolutely. Nakumbuka hata autopsy ilifanywa na government pathologist Johansen Odor.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of, say, state leaders who flocked in. I remember Governor Oparanya, that time he was a governor, Kakamega. Yeah, Oparanya. He's former now, I think ako kwa nini, MSME.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember him. I think he was among many other leaders that I remember. I only remember, Oparanya saying, they're calling out, this heinous act, and they want justice for the perpetrators who, did this to our dad. Yep.
Oh, okay. But, and the funeral itself, what happened? Walikuja?
Yes. They were present. Actually, what I've said, I remember Governor Paranya, I think he was there. He attended the funeral service. I was there, and I remember him, on the podium. And of course, they always get that time to politic and, hala, 1, 2, 3, those salvos peer with their whatever, yeah. So I remember him calling it out, akisema, he wants justice, the process was spared so that the perpetrators were brought to book. Yeah, of course, I see it even in other funerals, especially for victims when you're abductiwa or tortured allegedly by the state. It's usually the same speeches, We want the perpetrators to be brought to book. We want the investigation process to be hurried so that to do, and it ends up being forgotten. Yeah. Some of these cases I've learned a few of them zinakwanga kindly followed to the latter.
To the
hadi
end.
walete
But I think
justice.
mostly wanajuaga they always know it's just the government inakwaga involved in the cover up because sasa nyinyi like the police have they ever told you anything about that case ama as soon as your dad passed stories are investigations ilishi hapo like has there ever been any information on the abduction?
No. Till right now, if ningekuwa nimesikia any bro would have told you. I have not had any. And I think also ilikuja na ile the fear of if uanze sasa ukuje kuwa the poster child yenye unataka ukuwa the face of being on the front line to advocate for justice. What could happen to you? Yes, kulikuwa na hiyo fear pia. But then the shock and then the processing the whole event. But yeah, all the calls, everyone, family from my grandma to me and what shocked me is the number of people who turned up. It looked like the 25th of June protest in that homestead that day. Because I remember nakumbuka tukitransition na budi yake kutoka referral home ilikuwa, was it on Thursday? Yeah, because you went via JKIA. So when we landed in Kisumu, it looked like it was a political rally, yeah? And that convoy at our village home, yeah. So when we arrived with the body, it was a mess. It was a mess. The number of people who knew him, the number of people he had helped, the close friends, the classmates, that county, the villagers. It's like he was, I think at that moment you can only describe him as a saint or somebody maybe who was everybody's favorite in that county for that season. Because, it's something I had never witnessed in my whole entire life. Like people turning up to mourn somebody who they had just heard of and his good deeds. And that was my dad. I think that's something that you cannot orchestrate or, curate. Yeah.
So kwa nini kuna place ngine kunaona like your family mnakuaga in fear of speaking out? So were there like some rumors that the family felt it's blah 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 ndio wako guilty, that's why mnaogopa kuongea ama?
No, I don't think so. Even for me, I don't think so. Because I remember when I did a sit down way back with presenter Lee. Yes, there was a lot of paragraphs that were sent, and some of these paragraphs was like mbona umeenda kuongelea da from just some distant people. And also if you check out the comments hapo hivyo, a lot of people are saying they knew him, his legacy will live on, even from the articles and whatnot. But the fear of speaking out, I don't think, maybe because my family is very reserved, or say conservative, even that was the personality of my dad, very reserved, conservative, forthright, super forward, akuwa mtu maneno mengi sana. And I think maybe it runs in the family. But in terms of being on the front line to seek for justice and speaking out, I think that part has been paused a little bit, maybe because there's something. There could be something happening behind the scenes that I don't know of, but I don't think my family is fearful. Yeah, there's always been calls for justice till today.
Namuli was it privatized, your Zoya sugar? Because is it one of the ones that have been privatized right now, or they're still trying to privatize it?
I think it had been listed as among the government parastatals and used to call privatized. But to be honest, I stopped following it up here. Of course, I work in media, so I'll land on the headlines 1, 2, 3 here and there, but I don't give it much focus about it. But yeah, some of the headlines really shock me. Naweza kuwa tu nimechill na nione an update on Citizen and I'm like, yeah, I never focus on it much. Yeah, I usually brush it off. But yeah, if it is, good luck. We hope it lands on the road to goodness if they have to, if that's what will serve it. Yeah.
Okay. Kwako, what would justice look like? Like justice for Michael Kulundu, how does that look like? What's justice to you? You come to story ya budako.
If I were at a position to speak to the person who chopped off his right hand, what did you want to achieve, by chopping off his right hand? Yeah. What did you want to achieve? Yeah. And why my dad? Yeah. And why our family? Yeah. What wrong had my dad done to you? Yeah. So just tell me the reason why you did what you did. I just want to know. And is it worthy was it worth, even if there were other issues that were festering or underlying whatever, was that the right, approach to solve that issue?
Alafu,
And what did you achieve by doing that to him now that he's dead,
because this is now your dad's death is what made you reunite with your mom, eh? So how does that work? Were you, how many months after, did your mom even attend the funeral?
I wouldn't say or agree with my dad's death is what made me to reunite with my mom. But that part is really mysterious. Because she told me she attended the funeral.
She was there for your crowd, yeah?
Yeah, she was there in the crowd, but in disguise, yeah. Because there's a very bizarre story that she had explained that I cannot mention, yeah. But yeah, I think it was also shocking to me because initially I never lived with the mindset that, I had a mom, yeah. It's a button I had killed from childhood, yeah, because of the stories and everything. And of course also there was no person who was bold enough to sit me down and explain to me and tell me, hey, this is what happened to your mom and this is what transpired. So it was always a mystery. And I'll also say it's something I struggle with in campus here. And now since after my dad died, I was trying to wrap my mind around, now I don't have a father. So what next? What next? What can I do next? And then a miracle happens. I receive a message, boom, yeah. I don't want to say the details of the message, but I was taking a gap. I was taking a gap to realize, because in my mind, I knew my mom died 20 plus years ago. I knew she died 20 plus years ago, or maybe she wanted nothing to do with me. But when I met her, and it was an intense moment, I'd say, because I was really hesitant. Because I thought these are just some of the texts I usually receive, because it was normal for me to receive texts talking about, hey, Brian, da-da-da-da-da, we met here and there, da-da-da-da-da, you used to da-da-da. So this one was like, oh, you're just another one. So I didn't respond immediately. It took a bit of time before we even, met in person. And it was quite a meetup. It was quite a rendezvous, I'd say.
Will you meet Robbie?
I don't want to mention where we met, but yeah, we met. What
was the conversation like? Because I'm trying to understand someone you've not seen for over 20 years.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This will be tea to a lot of people. Yeah. The conversation was, ushamitule mtu mwenye, kwanza ilikuwa hivi, I'm not sure who I'm meeting exactly. Wacha nijifiche mahali kwanza, niangalia amesimama wapi. Oh my goodness, Sakwa, hey, you've been through things. So nikasimama mahali kwanza, nikaangalia picha zangu kadhaa, nafanana na huyo mtu kweli. And then something deep in my heart ilikuwa inaniambia, ni yeye, because I knew I'm meeting somebody who's, maybe it's just, unaonanga watu wenye na imposter, mtu anataka commit, because these things happen, especially if you work in media, mtu anataka commit, una-meet, kumbe, it's something else. So nilijificha mahali kwanza, nika-observe, nikaona, kuna venye tunafanana kidogo, yeah. Na plus hakuwa peke yake, she had company. Yeah, so, yeah. But the conversation was she handed me something. She handed me photos. Yeah. And no, I think it was one photo. Yeah. And also, ilikuwa katikati ya Bible. Yes, a small Bible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nikiwa mdogo, I think I managed to take a photo of it. Yeah. But funny thing is, wakati nilifika home, nilikuja nikararu hizo picha. Don't want to see this. Yeah, I was just infuriated. Sijui kaona ushaona ule msako extremely enraged. You just don't know how to process this. Like, Ebu explained to me, now I have a mother. What is this? What is this? Yeah. It took me long to actually let that sink in. Yeah. Yes, it took me long. But eventually the spark grew. I think from my experience with her, there's a way that mothers have a way with their sons. Yeah. And over time, utalegeza tu. And now I can connect why all my friends in campus and in high school wakati walikuanga kila time anaongele hey mother many advice hey because initially I used to dodge such conversations ati tunaanza kuongea mwafa then unaambia hey by the way niliongea na mama akasema nilikuanga na hang up ama na fake something because I used to just feel it was extremely annoying to me na story yenye nilikuwa fed growing up pia and the things I picked up because as a child you pick up things your brain is a canvas so the environment that you grow up in you're literally a sponge so you absorb the conversations the narratives na ndio hiyo filter watu na carry all along our lives ndio wanasemanga ile philosophy we are a product of who and where we come from but life experiences wasn't a structure how you end up finally here so zile mastori nilikuwa nimezisikia nini and the pain pia I went through without having a mother figure fighting for me defending me and there's the Yoruban saying yenye nasemanga a man is who his mother makes him. I keep on hearing that every day and I'm like I wish I had there's things that happened I'd say in my childhood that I believe if my mom was there azinge happen.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Hiyo story ya malnourishment hiyo
kwa shako
hizo kwa shako because najua there's always that. So did she ever tell you why she never contacted you?
She actually did and I don't think I'll delve into it but yeah
okay
but there was a bit of doubt but eventually I ended up like I've said mothers have a way of kwanza mothers and sons it's something now I'm able to admit initially I used to reject it ungekuwa unaniongelesha vitu kuhusu your mom I'm like bro you are trash don't
you're trying to understand like
yeah.
Did she have another family other kids ukona siblings?
I don't know for me I'm holding on to the fact that now I have my mother like my own mother who can at some point fight some of the battles that I didn't fight.
Yes,
and in as much as
maybe you can understand. See now you have your mother
like
in your life
having
right
other
now.
siblings or another family.
No, your mother is in your life right now. Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
So do you have step brothers, step sisters? That's what I'm asking. Like
from her?
Yes.
I don't know because like I've said I'm holding on to the fact that I have her as my mom and hiyo part ingine I don't think it's my business.
It's like you're having her at a distance as well.
Yeah, kwani you don't interact even like you don't go to her house, you don't go to.
No, I do
and you
in fact she's my best friend. No, I've not found anyone in the house. I've found relatives. Relatives like
so it means
the sister the other aunties.
So inamaanisha hakuna
but not her kids, but nimepata there's another child there. No. As far as I know right now is maybe I'm still her only child. To answer the question maybe.
Your cousin you can try to understand. So sai uli make peace na yeye after how long because you say the first day ulienda ukararua vitu. So after how long did the anger go down and what did you do after the anger went down? Did you contact her? Ama she's the one who contacted you? Like,
she was persistent. She was persistent in explaining everything that happened and how I was born. And shockingly, by the way, it turned out that my birth certificate, the year and the date of birth on the birth certificate she has is different from, the year and the date of birth and the birth certificate I currently have, which is something that I also maybe will not delve into in details. But and I think in the beginning I mentioned, like she mentioned my original names were Brian Victor Kulundu. But of course in our family, just in your Luya bwana, lazima unemiwe at least.
But the year of birth is not different. Same.
No, the current birth certificate I have and what I've used all along my studies and my documents is totally different. The year and the date is totally different. From what she has. But she doesn't have like the
gani meguzeesha ya madhende na kuzeesha ama ingine.
I think hiyo ingine.
Ndio nakuzeesha.
The original one. The older one.
The one I have. Yeah.
Okay. So size at least you have your mom, eh?
Yes.
But now of course when I look at a lot of families, especially the families where the dad was some sort of powerful person, yes?
Yeah.
Ama at least rich person. After death, kuna kuwaga na chaos kabisa.
Yeah.
There's chaos for property, there's chaos for, you see like even for your mother to hide, it's because she was avoiding that chaos. So how was that? Has there been chaos? Ama yenyinyi mlikuwa, your dad had a will and everything was on paper?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how to explain that part, but I say maybe your part kuna venye I personally have posted, like nime post too, but after some time, I think things will just fall in place, yeah, I'd say. But for now, your part, I think it's one of the most delicate parts about this whole incident, yeah. And like you've said, it's something common that happens to a lot of families where, the question is, what did he own? The car, who's using the car, who is the other money, who owns the account here? Yeah, I just surrendered it, yeah. That's what he did. But honestly, I thought about it for a very long time, and there's nothing I could do. I surrendered it. I'll use the word surrender. And
so nasema akukwa, it was not a harmonious, hakuwa na will.
I don't know how I'll explain that, because like I've said, that is the most dicey part. Naweza sema tu maybe let me pause it, because
so I understand hautaki kubonga
earth so many other
hautaki kubonga juu yake. So maybe tukimalizia, so hii story, what did you learn about the sugar industry from all this incident? Because from the outside looking in, susikia tu juu ya sugar cartels and such, but now you, as someone who saw your dad as an acting MD, and this acting MD position ended up costing him his life, how do you look at the sugar industry? Like kisikiaga juu yake na usikie juu ya sugar cartels.
I think what comes to my mind is corruption and full of political vested interests and people wanting to, I said maybe the stakeholders wanting to have, like some, because I don't know, because size is it Nzoia sugar that's on the shelf a lot, or Mumias sugar. There's always an investor who's trying to, ensure that they sell the name of, the franchise. So I think it's full of political vested interest. And I think I'd advise, if you love to take on that path, good luck, all the best. If you have what it takes to actually be the person that can revive it and, make it fit for the country. Because look at what happened to Mumias sugar, just a neighbor to, but I think it should be Chemilil and then Zoya, and plus even Mohoroni as well, It's a murky industry.
Like I've said. It was this amount is being imported, this amount is being imported. So you always know with Kenya, there's money to be made. And anywhere there's money to be made in such a corrupt country comes with the risks of death and injury. Unajua hivyo? Because unaweza stopisha msee fulani amekaa pale chini amekama na corrupt deal yake, alafu umekuja kuistopisha. So it becomes a very tricky.
The sugar industry canes.
It becomes a very tricky situation. But Buddha, secret necessarily ni good luck. At least endelea ku rebuild your relationship with your mom and get those stories out of her, and like get everything, and one day share with people, because the reason why we share personal stories is to inspire other people. We need, I think sometimes when you think about how we love social media, it's because we love stories, literally hizo vile kuangalia stories awase, because ukijiuliza haikuwagi tu entertainment, it's also some story in some sort of way. We alienda hii kafanyika so that's something that I think back in the days people used to sit around a
fireplace. Hata umesema hivyo nikapeleka tu kwa fireplace.
Squeezy fireplace ni TV.
All about stories.
Squeezy fireplace na TV.
Netflix and chill.
Fire na ni just stories too. Shadow is like back in the days people would do the whole day. The whole day mko hunting, gathering, then before mwende mlale mnakaa mbele ya moto mnapiga story. Squeezy mbele ya moto ni mna watch alafu sasa twende tulale. So it's interesting. Hata hiyo kuwatch game, it's always some entertainment before watu ende walale. But isa jua hiyo, like I try to imagine.
Afraid, I'd say I was afraid to actually even share that part, as in how would my other family interpret it. And so I think ilibaki kuwa dilemma kidogo, but like you said, slowly by slowly, because this is a journey for me. It was really strange. Kwanza even just knowing that I have a mom, I'm like, hey, what? Because in my mind, it's something I grew up deleted, and now the resentment now, and now so many other things that happened, so the regret and the shame and the fear, and now, so it was disgusting. But I say, I can't lie to you, I've sought therapy, but therapy Kenya, by the way. Yeah, anyways, I'm not like taking a shade at therapy, but yeah, it's very important at least to see someone mwenye anaweza kusaidia kudebunk like what you went through in as much as hata kupea solution, but you're having a conversation.
So budajo, asante sana kwa kushare story, and I hope mtaendelea kubuild your relationship with your mom, and just forget about the past. Najua the past is gone, we learn from it, then we move on. You see, that's because we can't also hold on to it, we can't change anything.
Yes,
whatever
exactly.
happened, and you became who you became.
Yes, and I actually usually use that as a philosophy to get through the day, because there's nothing else you can do now. The water is already spilled, semanga maji yakizoleka has a lake, and sometimes all these things are usually lessons. It always teaches you something as well. Even all these battles, I'd say, and these of tuzote, I usually by day nikiuliza hapo ilikuwa inanifunza nini, me going through that, what did I learn from it? And I'd say it has made me stronger, wiser. I'm almost like a therapist. I listen to a lot of people's problems, people just don't know, something is happening with my mom in my relationship. I'm like, konimona tu sakondo, the best person. So it has taught me to listen to people's stories.
Okay. So imekuwa ni episode 523. Kama kawaida tukisema like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend. Tukimalizia tukisema Iko Nini.
Iko Nini.
Iko Nini.